journey for me. I became aware that I'd been living in a bubble within this family, within this institution, and I was sort of almost trapped in a thought process or a mindset. Within the first 8 days of our relationship being made public was when he said Harry's girl almost straight out of Compton, and that her exotic DNA will be thickening the royal blood. You get followed, photographed, chased, harassed. The clicking of cameras and the flashing of cameras makes my blood boil. It makes me angry. It takes me back to what happened to my mum and what I experienced when I was a kid.
That's enough.
But it went to a whole new depth with not just traditional media, but also social media platforms as well. I felt completely helpless. I thought my family would help, but every single ask, request, warning, whatever it is, just got met with total silence or total neglect. We spent 4 years trying to make it work. We did everything that we possibly could to stay there and carry on doing the role and doing the job. But Meghan was struggling. And people have seen the photograph of us, squeezing each other's hands as we walked into the Royal Albert Hall in London for a charity event. She was 6 months pregnant at the time. What perhaps people don't understand is earlier that evening, Meghan decided to share with me the suicidal thoughts and the practicalities of how she was going to end her life. The scariest thing for her was her clarity of thought. She hadn't lost it. She wasn't crazy. She wasn't self-medicating, be it through pills or through alcohol. She was absolutely sober. She was completely sane. Yet in the quiet of night, these thoughts woke her up. The thing that stopped her from seeing it through was how unfair it would be on me. After everything that had happened to my mum, and to now be put in a position of losing another woman in my life, with a baby inside of her, our baby, I'm somewhat ashamed of the way that I dealt with it. And of course, because of the system that we were in and the responsibilities and the duties that we had a quick cuddle. And then we had to get changed, and I had to jump in a convoy with a police escort and drive to the Royal Albert Hall for a charity event, and then step out into a wall of cameras and pretend as though everything's okay. There wasn't an option to say, you know what, tonight we're not going to go. Because just imagine the stories that come from that. While my wife and I were in those chairs, gripping each other's hand, the moment the lights go down, Meghan starts crying. I'm feeling sorry for her, but I'm also really angry with myself that we're stuck in this situation. I was ashamed that it got this bad. I was ashamed to go to my family. Because to be honest with you, like a lot of other people my age can probably relate to, I know that I'm not going to get from my family what I need. I then had a son who I'd far rather be solely focused on, rather than every time I look in his eyes, wondering whether my wife is going to end up like my mother and I'm going to have to look after him myself. That was one of the biggest reasons to leave. Feeling trapped and feeling controlled through fear, both by the media and by the system itself, which never encouraged the talking about this kind of trauma. But certainly now, I will never be bullied into silence.